I had an interesting conversation with one of my tech actors today, Abiola Okujobi. Wonderful guy doing amazing things in the design space. Now, this video you're about to watch is an interesting conversation of a young man that is silently making money in Nigeria. And this is the point I'm making to the young ones out there. Can you please just focus on yourself and make a difference? Leave the Nigerian problem, that's not your problem. The video you're about to see now, it's this journey of a young man, a tech actor, like I like to describe them. I'm not a tech zombie who is procrastinating and not even making something good out of their life. Watch this video. Listen to this video and see what Abiola Ogunjobi has that makes him unique and different. Thank you.
Tech actors and tech zombies, two words that I coined, emphasizing that making the best use of technology makes you a tech actor. You know, using technology to shape your career, to shape your future, particularly when the future we're looking at, the current future we are living, and the future we're looking at is a future of technology. So it only makes sense for every serious person, particularly children, right? Because this is my interest. I want them to be properly guided on what the future holds for them. So the essence of this conversation is to celebrate people like you and what you're doing. We call the conversation Tech Talk with AFO and Friends. And correct me if I'm wrong, Abiola. I consider you as one of my special friends.
It's an honor,
Hello,
sir.
Abiola.
I did not
Abiola.
I did not know that before. It's an honor. It's an honor.
Now you know. So Ifeka, we appreciate one of my special friends that we are engaging today, Abiola.
The appreciation should be monetary, please.
It should be monetized. It will be monetized. Appreciation will be monetized. On a serious note, Abiola is someone I sincerely appreciate. He's someone that knows how to combine. Work for Abiola is, just living life, right? For some people, work for them is like a battle. Like a battle, but Abiola seamlessly he gets his things done. Work and pleasure, there's a thin line for Abiola, which makes a lot of sense. So Abiola comes from a background of design, UI, UX, product management, designer back in the days, and designer what it means today has 1,001 meaning. In fact, they come from different dimension, right? You're talking about a product designer, you're talking about UI, UX, all of this mean different things now. And to even make it more interesting is what AI is actually doing to that space. So the conversation we want to have today, which I would like Abiola to speak to, but before we get into the art of our conversation today, and we actually have two products that we want to really look at, okay? I want Abiola to introduce himself. I want the audience to get familiar with Abiola. Abiola, tell us about yourself. Are you a tech actor or a tech zombie?
Well, according to your descriptions, I'm definitely a tech actor. My name is Abiola Okujobi. I'm a product designer. I've been a product designer for over 6 years now, running on 7 years. I like to refer to myself as an accidental product designer. And the reason is simple. So I studied mathematics and computer science in uni. I schooled at the University of Port Harcourt. And sometime in my final year, my aunt reached out to me from the UK and said that someone wanted to renew her website, the website for her interior design company, and was charging her £200. And that she felt like £200 was a lot of money. And she thought that I would be able to do something about it to cost her less. if I could do that, right? They should reach out to me. Honestly, at that point in time, I knew nothing about web design. I mean, if you attended a Nigerian university, even though you studied computer science, I can assure you that the only things that were taught were languages like Fortran and Pascal. Fortran 77, I mean, was a language that was used way back in 1972 in the US, right? And I was learning that in 2014, 2013. Right, so I did what every normal sensible person would do. I went online, I did a little bit of research to see how much hostings actually cost. It was Bluehost, and we found that it was actually less than £100. So I told my aunt, I was like, "Oh, auntie, this thing is less than £100." And she's like, "Oh, okay. How about I give you £100 and you go ahead, renew the hosting, and then see if you could change one or two images that we just took on my mobile device on the website." Then I did that. And after doing that, then I realized, oh, shoot, I just made about £40 for just changing images of a website, right? What if I could actually do this as a thing? What if actually my career, what if this was my calling, right? So I decided to explore more and learn how web design on my own. I learned how to build websites using WordPress. I started learning HTML and CSS. And I started building websites. But along the line, I saw that there was a very big discrepancy with the HTML websites I was building and the WordPress templates that I saw online. WordPress templates were a lot more finer, they were a lot more fun, a lot more interactive. And that begged the question, how did these people get to do websites that looked this good while I was doing HTML websites that didn't look as good? They looked good, but it didn't look as good. Then I did a little more research, and that was where I found Adobe XD. And when I found Adobe XD, and I literally learned overnight in like a course of a week how to use Adobe XD, how to design websites in Adobe XD, headers, footers, and the likes. Bear in mind, I had knowledge of HTML and CSS, right? So I could do it. I could build a website, but I couldn't design it. But now looking at other people's designs, trying to replicate in Adobe XD and now transferring it into HTML and CSS, it was the thing. It just kicked off from there. Then when I started working with friends, I started working at companies, then it was the fact that, oh, how can we collaborate effectively remotely? Bear in mind, I schooled in University of Port Harcourt. I served in Cross River State, but all my folks were based in Lagos. But there was only one platform at that point in time that allowed that sort of collaboration, and that was Figma. And that's how I found Figma. And the story has been beautiful ever since, right? I've lost.
Let me cut you, right? There's something I want to pick you on, you know, and it's actually a misconception that particularly the audience I'm trying to speak to, secondary school students that are just coming out of college and, you know, trying to shape their future and career. Now, this misconception is we all go to universities, polytechnic, with the assumption that everything your future would be about, right, will actually be taught in university. And that's a misconception. So when people like you come out to say, okay, I'm a computer scientist, but I really did not get the fundamentals of what I need to do. University is not meant to be that. I mean, in the real sense of it, university is actually meant to open your eyes. Now, it is what would define your future is you.
Yeah, true.
Right? So the earlier everybody knows that what defines you is you. You need to know those skill sets that you need, the tools you need to work with. What university will do primarily for you is to open your eyes to the fundamentals. So University of Port Harcourt, they've done their bit by opening Abiola's mind. You understand? So I don't want you to take that away from what they've done to you. A round of applause for University of Port Harcourt, please.
And it's not about that. They've done their bit by making you find yourself.
Exactly. I mean, you want to be spoon fed or what? Why do you think they call them facilitators? Right? Go and figure out how to do it. If this person did it this way, your bit is to go and think, do the research, and and take it further. But anyways, Abiola is who he is today. As a designer, I mean, tell us about some of those projects you've done. And most importantly, this is the one I want you to speak to, because you are one of my tech actors, right? Yeah. In Yoruba language, you call people like you Agbele Pau. Okay, so we're interested in, some of these dollars and pounds that you are making every angle around the world.
Oh, well, yes. So as a product designer, my career started off as a product designer designing mobile apps and websites. The first couple of years in my product design journey, I worked for as a freelancer for Nigerian companies, right? I built websites, and because I was designing the product and the clients trusted me enough to recommend developers for them, I sort of integrated into the product management role, right? So I had to supervise these developers that I introduced to the clients, right? So that's what fueled that. Along the line, there became a need to have a design a custom software solution company, which I founded, ISOC Limited. And I think COVID, when it came in 2020, was definitely a blessing more than a curse for me, because that opened the eyes of everybody into remote working. That opened the eyes of everybody into talents in Africa. And that gave me the opportunity to begin to work with companies in the US, companies in the UK, companies in South Africa, Kenya, Rwanda, Germany, Netherlands. And I mean, the list is endless.
I'm confused now, because I mean, if I see you and your dread outside, the first thing that comes to my mind is, this is another Yahoo boy. So are you saying that, all the conversations that you're doing on your system that has Netherlands, that has US and UK is not Yahoo related?
Oh, none is Yahoo.
So if NSAS sees you on the road with that flashy car and waves you down,
I honestly love
with your look. How many times have they flashed you down?
A lot of times, countless number of times, countless. Especially because I drive a white Mercedes.
Countless. Because you drive a what?
A white Mercedes. Countless number of times. Countless. I can't even count on the top of my hands how many times they stop me. And as a matter of fact, I love them stopping me, because I get to educate them as to the reason why I am this successful.
You compulsorily must drop something.
And sometimes I just tell them, you know what, I'm not dropping anything. But sometimes, you consider the policeman on the street whose salary is 50K, and that 50K is the same thing that I'll make in 1 or 2 hours of work. You might want to feel pity for him. I mean, he's in the sun, I'm in air conditioning. I'm in an air conditioned car.
Okay, so I mean, if you would want to properly situate what makes Abiola who Abiola is, do you understand, compared to some of your contemporaries that you finished from school together? What is that thing that is exceptional about you that you want people to be mindful of? Do you understand, in pursuing whatever your future ambition is?
2 things. One is, if you love what you do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. Right?
Yeah.
Second, and most importantly, is the drive to always want a better life for yourself. Growing up, if I do not remember anything that my father told me, there was one thing that always rang into my ears. If you want to be successful in life, you're going to have to work for it. Right?
You have to work for it.
No free food, even in Freetown. And you would have, if you want to drive a Mercedes, you have to work for it. If you want to drive a G-Wagon, you have to work for it. If you want to own a 4-bedroom duplex, you have to work for it. And you have to work pretty hard. You would now work and at a point in time decide, I want to take a break for a month of working. I want to just travel the world and enjoy myself. But the first thing is, you have to put in the work. There is a law in physics that says that there's equal and opposite reaction to every action, right?
Yeah.
And action of putting in the work, the reaction and the opposite reaction is getting enough money for you to rest and enjoy life. and fuel your frivolities, right? And when I mean frivolities, I'm not saying go do drugs. I mean my frivolities, for example, is fast driving. I love driving fast. I love it. The thing. And since as long as I cannot drive that fast on major roads in Lagos, for example, one of my dreams is to travel to Germany and drive on the Autobahn. But before I go to Germany and drive on the Autobahn at low limits of speed, I invested an insane amount of money in a racing simulator in my house.
Wow.
Right? Without insane. I mean, that thing cost me more than ₦1 million. I don't get to drive it a lot, but I invested a lot of money in it.
That's your part. You know, I mean, trust me, everybody has that part of you that would always would always be there. It doesn't really matter how old you find yourself. Exactly. So I guess that is part of that part of Abiola. You know, interesting experience. My article next week, you know, is actually trying to compare two characters, right? I try to compare the Ini of this world, to compare it with this Ramone guy, popularly known as Hush Puppy, right? In my own opinion, these guys are two smart individuals. Okay, but one has, you know, proper guidance and channeled his, you know, tech experience, tech skills into something legitimate. He remained focused, and he has gotten to the peak of his career. You know, from all indication, most likely Flutterwave will be listed next year, right? And you have the other guy, in some prison somewhere in US. Okay, you know, so for the same way we have Abiola, you obviously will have some guy like you, smart and intelligent like you, probably has the same training as you, and is taking that other path, which is illegitimate. You know, can you briefly, you know, speak to our audience why doing the right thing would always be the right thing any day, anytime?
Simple. Peace of mind. If you do not value peace of mind and you like living while watching your back and not being able to sleep with both eyes closed, I mean, then please, I don't know what to say to you. But if you want to have peace of mind, like for example, my dad would always say, if anyone knocks at the door at 2 a.m. in the morning, right, and he gets there and he doesn't feel like seeing the person, he will tell the person to walk away. It's as simple as that. But I mean, if he was into any fraudulent activities, he would not have the right or the confidence to tell anybody that walks up to his door to walk away, right? Anyone knocks at my door at 1 a.m. in the morning, the question I will ask you is, Kilo Fair, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?
So there's a popular Europe. I mean, you of course you won't even know who this artist is. Is Haruna Ishola, right?
Yeah, wrong. I know who Haruna Ishola is. So
you know Haruna Ishola? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so there's one of his track where he said he was actually trying to praise a guy, and he said, "Oh, this particular guy is this person when he hears the knock on the door, always confident that the person knocking is either knocking to come and borrow money or knocking to come and pay what is owing. He's never afraid to open the door.
Never.
Never afraid to open the door.
I'm never afraid to open my door. I'm never afraid to receive guests in my house.
Ife has a list of tools, AI tools that is actually threatening your job, which is why we're here. Ife, you have the floor. Abiola is about to be out of job. Unfortunately, I'm sorry for you, Abiola.
To like you to speak.
All this your smile, all this your simulation. This your simulation. You will sell it in a couple of weeks now with what Abiola.
Let's see what you have.
So last week,
what Ife is about to talk about. Okay.
Last week I came across this AI tool. It is called Galileo AI.
Okay.
So what Galileo AI does is that I'll call Galileo AI tests to Figma. So, why are you laughing? All you need
No, I'm happy. I'm happy that Abiola is out of. I'm really going to go after his job. Go on.
And it is really fascinating, you know. Like you have. So for me, I don't have your skill sets. I can't design, right? Yeah. But I know how to conjure words together, right? So I stumbled on Galileo AI. I was actually just trying to make a simple. So I was doing a software test. I actually want to test a particular software, and I was like, I need a design replication for me to like test this software, like a form. So I stumbled on Galileo AI, and I was like, what is this? I opened the website, and I just saw a test field, and it was like, just make your prompts, and screens will be generated, design screens will be generated. So you'd have 10 design screens. We're actually making free promo for Galileo AI now, the makers of Galileo AI. So what I did was I just imputed, make me a connector application, a website that connects users to people that offers services. And Galileo AI just in like 10 minutes, it gave me 10 screens of like starting from sign in, how a user would, like, you know, that workflow, that work interaction.
Okay.
I was not like, if I can have this, what is now?
What are the other tools?
So
go on, Ife. So quickly, so you have Galileo AI, because I want Abiola to speak to everything together. We have Galileo AI.
We have
name.
There's Midjourney. I'm sure you have
Midjourney.
So there's
Midjourney.
And there's a new one now. Awesome. There's this new AI tool now.
Text to image, yeah.
So there's this new now. Have you heard of text to video? That's it's Sora. So it was actually released yesterday. So you make your prompt and it gives you a 60 seconds. You get a 60 seconds video. But
can you run? Which video are you running first?
So I'm going to be running the Midjourney. That's the text to image.
Right. Okay, run the Midjourney, and we can get Abiola's reaction to this afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see this.
This guy is out of job. I'm sorry for you. Sorry.
Hi everyone. Welcome to the Alpha website. I'm here to show you a report. The first thing that you'll notice is that the Imagine bar no longer says coming soon, but you can actually type in. Here, for example, I'll say an illustration of a snowy owl in the Swiss Alps. I press enter to submit that prompt, and because I'm in the Explore tab, you can see that the job has moved into the Create tab. Click over there, and you can see that the job has started to generate. While it's creating, I'm going to show you the new settings menu. Click that icon on the side of the prompt bar in order to change some of your default configurations. Suppose I want to generate in more of a landscape orientation by default rather than in a square. I'll change that slider. You can see that it's changed with 3:2 aspect ratio. And now when I submit a new job, it will submit in that aspect ratio by default. You can access your older jobs by pressing the arrow keys. It's the up arrow. And you can see that even though I don't specify an aspect ratio, the next time I submit a job, it'll be in 3:2 ratio. We've also made it much easier to use image prompts. All you need to do is click any image and drag them into the prompt bar. Here, I'll combine these two images, put it into an aspect ratio of 2:3, and hit submit. Then when you look at that job, you can see that it's using those two image prompts that I specified. After you've created an image, you're able to access a couple of commonly used functions right from this mode. There's new variations, or you can go over to this tab to access a few other functions. Suppose I didn't really like this image and it was cluttering up my gallery, I can just click hide. Once you go into the light box, you get more functionality available to you. Every Midjourney function is supported within this menu. Suppose I have this image and I want to change the aspect ratio. I can just click one of those buttons there, change some parameters, and submit that job. The last thing that I want to show here on creation is how to use style references. Because this feature was released so recently, we're still working on first-class support for the web. Suppose I have an image, say in this case a preschooler's crayon drawing. I can copy that image URL by right-clicking and copying the image address, or by going into this menu and saying copy image URL, and I can use it as a style reference in a prompt. Say an owl, sref, and then that URL, submit the job, and it'll create an owl in the style of crayon drawing. I think it did a pretty good job. I like this one. The archive is familiar to you all from the normal website, but I want to just show you a couple of features. The archive is a place and organize.
Yes, so can we pause the video from here, right? With what we've seen, right? It shows the power of AI and what AI can do to when it comes in terms of efficiency, like making people more efficient. But I really want Abiola as a designer to speak to this. You understand? So Midjourney is a text-to-image platform where you're just giving clear instruction of what type of image you want, make your design on your own, and not necessarily engaging people like Abiola to work for you. So Abiola, do you see AI tools like this, Midjourney, a threat to what you do, or is actually even going to make you better at what you're doing and more opportunities for you?
Yes, I do. I absolutely am not threatened by AI, and the reason is simple. AI is trained by a set of data points that are used to train AI. AI is not a human being, and fortunately or unfortunately does not have a mind of its own yet, right? And for that reason, I feel like the field that I'm in, and any field in general, carpentry, computer science, engineering, physics, arts, even coding, right? It requires a certain amount or percentage of what's the word now? That's this word I'm looking for. Of my personality as a person, right? That's the reason why when Picasso makes a painting and makes 200 other paintings, you know it's Picasso's painting by the brush stripes, by the brush strokes, right? There is a reason why when Mercedes makes a car and makes an engine, even without the Mercedes logo, you could tell that this is a Mercedes engine. There is a way the Honda guys will make the suspension of the Accord, and when you look at it, you say this is German engineering.
Abiola, you are sounding overconfident now.
No,
but
it's
trust
not
me,
overconfident.
so we have some people like you that were overconfident like this some years ago, and they are easily today.
No, it's not overconfidence. Listen, there is this simple thing that we all need to understand. AI will make everybody's jobs better, just the way emails made everybody's life better when Web 2.0 came out, when the internet revolution, the middle of the year 2000, right? AI will make everybody's lives better. Say, for example, as a designer, I have a designer's block as to, okay, I have this image in my head and I'm trying to build a website. I can't find an image online for that website, but then I have this concept in my head. I can run the prompt through Midjourney, right? It gives me the photo angles. I take those photo angles, then I take it to an actual photographer and tell him, okay, look here, this is what I want it to look like using real human beings, right? That concept of using AI at that point in time, of using Midjourney, has, in its sense, reduced the cognitive load of trying to find the right lighting angle, of trying to find the right pose, of trying to find the right everything.
But speaking to the cognitive load, right? Now, a Midjourney platform like this, what it does to someone like AFO or Ife, is that I don't see a reason why I should engage Abiola for his service anymore, okay? Because what Abiola can do, I also can deliver that on my own and get my work done. Say, for example, right? You would agree with me. You'd agree with me some years ago. I mean, website, even before your own generation, right? Website, I remember the days of Woo Interactive. I don't know if you remember a company. Woo Interactive happens to be one of the leading firm back in the days, I mean, the forefront of website development in Nigeria. Woo Interactive has like a team of 25 designers, right, doing different bits of website design. A website project with Woo Interactive as far back as 2001, 2002, would probably going for like 10 million, 15 million for some of the projects that they delivered. Now, the point I'm trying to make is there's a way these tools also brings down the value of what you do, right? Without doubt, right, for smart people like you, you obviously you step up your game, it makes you better and all of that. But there's a way it also narrows down the market to an extent. Do you agree with that?
Yes and no. Yes, it narrows down the market for people who are mediocre, right, in their roles. Yes, it narrows down the market for the average guys. Yes, it narrows down the market for someone who is not convicted in their role. Like I said, if you enjoy what you do, you would never have to work a day in your life. When you begin to find, I'll give you a very perfect example. For about a year now, I've been using ChatGPT extensively for case studies presentation.
Wow.
Extensively. Before then, I had to sit down and think of all the questions I needed to ask my clients, or I needed to ask users regarding any app that I was trying to build. Then when I list all these questions, I go and I put it on a Google form and I ask them, and the result is janky because my questions might be biased, right? But using ChatGPT, I could generate 100 questions, right? And then still ask ChatGPT to filter out of those 100 questions, which 20 does ChatGPT think would give me the most accurate results?
Yeah.
Then when I ask ChatGPT to give me the accurate, I could go further and ask ChatGPT to just give me the results. But no, I won't do that because I want the human interaction. I will not take those questions and now physically ask people those questions to get actual results.
So if I can narrow down what you're saying, right, because this is what we are trying to get at, some school of thought believes that AI is, all out to, get some people out of job, right? Some school of thought believes that AI is actually meant to make, humans more efficient.
Exactly.
Right? So for those that are not ready to move with the trend, they are the bunch of the category that falls in the category of mediocres, right? Okay, because this is actually meant to be more of an enhancement and making you better at what you're doing.
Exactly.
I would summarize that as your take. But Ife has another one that I'm sure would convince you that at the end of the day, AI is about to do something bad. Go to text to video. The one open AI is about to drop in a couple of days. They are already testing it, right?
Yeah.
I actually want to show him what Galileo does so he can see it. So let's quickly do this before the text to video. All right. So this is basically what you do. You create screens, right? So let's say create a application. Right, let's
just say create homepage. Create a application homepage.
He's even thinking through it already. So it will give us the homepage.
Oh God, he's thinking through it already.
Don't worry, it will give us that homepage. So it is asking if I would like, could you please confirm if the screens aligns with your vision, or provide further details on the specific screens you'd like to have designed for your tourism application. So let us say, yes, this is fine. So these are the list of screens. We are going to be having the home screen, destination screen, tours and activities, booking form, itinerary planner, and profile and settings. So it's going to give me screens of these listed features. So it is working on the design. So you take a little bit of time. Yeah. So my screen is ready. Although it's not perfected yet, it might not be as
Okay, so what we're saying in a nutshell, Abiola, these are things that probably would have taken you days, right?
Yeah. No. So can you see this?
Is that?
So can you see this? Can you see this? So so this is the home screen.
Yeah.
This is just so I can take this and also export to Figma if I want, then continue my design from there. Then
Exactly. What being continuous design. So what this is essentially a translation of what we refer to in the design world as a mood board.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a mood board essentially is a collection of screens from existing applications, from random designs you find on the internet, that helps you just get a vision of what you want it to look like. This is constrained, or rather, this is constricted to what the AI gives you. I mean, over time it will improve and you probably get more variations and more options and all. But if you look at this second screen, for example, rule of thumb, the top back, no, just scroll back up.
Okay.
Rule of thumb, the top navigation should not have that dark background. As a designer of 7 years, it will be a transparent background with a linear feel that looks like a cloud shining on top of this image, and those two icons will be white.
Okay, very well.
Yeah, so
the developer
that is
are going to take
hold on.
And they are
That
going
is
to
application.
they are going to make Galileo better with your review.
No, it's not even that. No, he has a point.
Yeah.
But it's just that without doubt, it narrows down the market. So for a client or a customer like Mercedes-Benz, right, or Nike, they would not work with tools like this. They need people that actually can pay attention to all these type of details to deliver the type of quality, quality they want.
Another rule of thumb: the spacing between the edge of your screen and the nearest interactable component should be at least 24 pixels. What I'm looking at is 16 pixels. It's too close.
Yes, clap for yourself. That story is for Mercedes-Benz and Nike, bro.
So
not for your listen, not for let me drop this one. Not for Abiola's auntie in UK.
Yeah.
You think your auntie cares about you think your auntie cares about this? Anyway, let's look at the video. Let's look at the video from OpenAI, because this is actually what is central to our conversation.
Yeah.
So many artists are complaining now around how these things are just, after their jobs and what they do as a living.
So I'm going to be playing a couple of videos from the newly launched Sora, the test video. So the videos they look quite realistic, but
they are AI generated.
Yeah.
It's not public yet, right?
Yeah, it is not.
No, Sora is not public yet.
Yeah, it's not public yet.
It is not public yet.
Yeah. It is just given out to some selected few. So this video is AI generated.
Abiola, look at this now.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
No doubt. It's beautiful.
That is one.
Like, just a bunch of text prompts. Give me this, and you get this delivered.
No doubt. Like I said, AI will make your work easier if you are not mediocre. And I'll use this video for example also. If you are looking at this video, and as a videographer, which I'm not by the way, but as a videographer, I'm looking at this video and I want to go and shoot an under the water scene. What am I saying? So my pre-wedding photographs were under the water, right? I had an underwater photo shoot. If I had a tool like this it would have definitely been able to give me a direction to how I wanted to be under the water, or where the lights needed to come from, and the lights, right?
So, Abiola, hold your thought. I want you to play like the 3 videos very quickly, and I would like Abiola's thoughts to go afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is another video.
Yep.
To include the tests, and on its historical hull, a massive tidal wave peaks and begins to crash. 2 surfers, seizing the moment, skillfully navigates the face of the wave. So this is the video prompt.
Can you imagine? See the text prompt, see the video that is delivered. Now another one.
Last one. So the last one is quite funny. It's so funny to show you how these developers are really the thing. So it's just on a guy eating burger and making a big brain. Oh my god. This is AI generated. This guy is not real. He's AI generated. Oh my god. It's so good.
Wow.
So,
Abiola, go ahead.
This is actually very beautiful.
This is
to be honest. It's mind blowing. It's. I mean, I've seen on the internet sometimes where some kids in the US try to prank, or rather, not even try. They successfully pranked their class teacher, their subject teacher, into saying that Trump made an announcement in school and that he wanted everybody to go home, and literally all the kids got up. I mean, and it was literally Donald Trump's voice, right?
Yeah.
Actually Donald Trump's voice. So, I mean, it's beautiful, it's interesting, but in this real sense of actual product design or actual creativity, I consider them as stepping stones into the masterpiece. I consider AI as stepping stones, as lifters up onto the masterpiece. You as a creative now has to sit back, relax, soak in all this information that AI has generated for you, put in your own touch, and make it a masterpiece. I'll give you an example. And I'm sorry, I'm going to use cars again. It's what I like. If I decided that I wanted to start,
so by the way, I have an invite for a car show, VIP car show at Tafawa Balewa Square this weekend. Yeah, I can. I mean, one of the organizers is actually my very close friend. So if you're interested, if you also have a car you want to test run, is it also? I don't even know. You send me the IV, I'll share with you. Go ahead.
All right, cool. So if I wanted to start a car company, I wanted to start manufacturing cars, for example, now, I am not going to go and reinvent the wheel. That's the tires. I am not going to reinvent how combustion works. Why am I even going that far? When Elon Musk was going to start Tesla, he didn't reinvent how the tires were going to roll on the road. He didn't reinvent how the speedometer on the car was going to look like. He didn't even reinvent lithium-ion batteries. He only made it bigger.
Yeah.
He didn't reinvent suspension of the car. He didn't reinvent the propeller axles.
No.
He only found a way to merge everything that was already existing. There's this book that I have. It's called Borrowing Brilliance by David Cormorey.
Yeah.
I've probably read that book. I've probably read that book 6-7 times. And the essence of that book simply says that you should, as an inventor, as a creator, as a leader, or as anyone who's trying to break into anything, be able to borrow brilliance from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you remember that I started with, sorry, let me not lose my thought. If you remember that I started with,
go ahead.
AI is a product that is trained by a set of data, right? A data set that keeps growing day by day.
Yeah.
And these data sets are created by people. these data sets are created by human interactions over time, right? And those are the information that AI now uses to generate these results. See,
I think that's a misconception. I think that was 2 years ago. Like, let's say 2 years ago, you can say that. But now, what we are doing right now is to come up with something unique. I don't think you find a video like this online. You might find something similar, but you'd actually see. So these data sets are actually trained to come up with something unique.
Exactly, trained. These data sets. The data sets has image of someone eating burger. The data set has the image of what a room of a white guy looks like. The data set has an image of what the door looks like. The data set has an image of what books and on a shelf look like. Data set has an image of what the Xbox looks like. The data set has images of everything that you see in this video that is now pulled together, borrowing brilliance to generate what you see. Now, it is now your job as a creative to have multiple of these data sets, or rather of these results generated by AI. First, have the brain to be able to coin words and express what you feel, because mediocre people will not be able to coin those words and will not be able to coin those prompts as the way that they are coined it to give these results, right? I mean, I'm sure every day you go online now, you see people literally training people how to effectively use ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT how to act and how to. I mean, if you tell ChatGPT, draft a resume for me, or tell ChatGPT, act as a product designer of 6 years experience that has worked in XYZ and have generated this and that results, and draft a resume for me. The results that it will generate will be two different things.
Two different things, yeah.
So it first starts with your mind. You have to not be mediocre, right? And then now begin to open your mind into borrowing the brilliance that the AI has generated for you.
Abiola, what I was going to say, right, which I think your explanation has actually shed light into, right, is, the literary meaning of the word research, right? I mean, you're simply saying something that already existed. Do you understand? You want to go and research it. They all existed somewhere. You're searching again, right? That's why they put "re" in front of it, which technically says that those things already existed. You are researching it, improving on what already existed. Okay, so that's part of what makes us human. The creativity is what makes us human. I'm also of the school of thought that AI is actually meant to make us more efficient, but I also will tell you, there's this side of me, Abiola, that is saying, excuse me, where this thing is taking us to. If it's killing Biwaloyi,
so there's that. At that point,
in the evolutionary sense, it will actually make us efficient. You can't compare the brain of a 7-year-old now to that of a 7-year-old in the 1980 something or 1970 something. The perception is different. You would have a baby, a 2-year-old kid, like operating an Android phone easily. Like 2-year-old, 3-year-old, they know where to go. They can go to YouTube, and so those access to information, they have it. But 1980 something, 1970 something kids like Apple. Apple, sorry about that. So it affects our evolution, and I think it's something we really have to be grateful for, because it affects our evolution, and we don't know where.
Well, at the end of the day, we need to find a way to strike a balance. Okay. So on a final note, Abiola, I want you to speak to the minds of my young folks out there, right? Speak in the language of the tech actor values, right? And what they need to be conscious of, the role of technology in the future that is staring at their faces, right? What they should primarily focus on, do you understand, to ensure that they are not a future mediocre and they are well positioned to to capture values. Okay, because some people will capture values, more. Values that they truly deserve, while some will just be on the ground getting some, what's it called, crumbs and all of that. So, Abiola, speak to my guys.
Okay, so like I said earlier, one of the driving forces that have gotten me to where I am today is not staying down when you fall, right? I think there's a very, very big mistake amongst the younger ones of nowadays who think that life is supposed to be easy at the stage that they are in. They fail to realize that life has its up and downs, right? I saw a video recently where 3 balls were released from a level plane. One went through an oscillatory motion up and down. One went on a straight line diving down, and the other was on a flat surface. The one on the flat surface obviously stayed, even with the ball, it didn't roll. The one who was going on an incline obviously went down, but the one who went on an oscillatory motion up and down got to the destination faster, the one who went on a straight line. Now, I said that to say this. There will always be ups and downs, right? There will always be down moments, there will always be up moments, right? It is remembering to get up when you are down, and remembering that the downtime is a springboard for your next up time, right?
Yeah.
Preacher, it's a springboard for your next up time. That gives you the motivation to get back up on that horse and ride it again. I mean, there's a Yoruba saying that Teshimba Daninu Aman Tunguni. And it literally says,
come on.
It essentially means that if you ride a horse and it throws you down, you climb, you get back on the horse again, right?
Yeah.
And now, knowing what you want as your end goal, for me, I tell people around me that I pick something as a goal and work towards it. Say, for example, when I wanted to buy my Benz, right? For me, it was a goal. I made the calculations. I knew if I landed a 2 million naira a month gig and I worked for 12 months, 24 million, I can afford the Benz. If I now decide, I can decide to leave that 2 million naira job after I've gotten the Benz. If I want something else, I want something higher, I can do that. But first land this 2 million one. Then work towards it, land the Benz, and then select something else. One thing people make mistakes is they do not attach their hustle to a goal.
A goal.
They don't attach their hustle to a goal. And if you do not attach your hustle to a goal, you will find out that you are just walking in a free motion, right? You are just day in, day out. You wake up in the morning, get in the car, go to work, get in traffic, go to work, and you repeat that cycle week in, week out, from Sunday to Sunday. And your life at the end of 5, 10, 15 years, you cannot tangibly say, this is what I've done. What I like to advise people on is attach your hustle, find a goal, find something that you know that you want to achieve. That when I achieve this, I'll be happy with myself and move on to the next goal, right? And now devise a means to get that goal legitimately, right? Ask yourself, if I do this, how long will it take me to afford this? If I take, instead of hitting another illustration, if you are a woodcutter in the bush and you want to cut down an iroko tree, right? And you're given an axe, you can go straight and start axing down the iroko tree. It will take you a while, even if the axe is blunt. It will take you a while, but you finally get it. I mean,
yes, you will.
The sheer brute force would enable you to get down that iroko tree. It will take you 1 year, 2 years, but you will get there. But you could also take a month to sharpen the axe, right? You could take 2 months to build a more sophisticated sharpening blade that will be sharpening the axe every two days, and end up spending just 4-6 months cutting down the Iroko tree with less force. But do not forget, it has taken you more energy to build the sharpening blade and to sharpen the axe. You have expended energy there. You have built the blade, you have sharpened the axe to make the work now look easier. So have a goal, attach your hustle to it. Once you have attached the hustle to it, then now hold on to that hustle and find ways to make that hustle easier for you. Find ways to enable yourself, and that's where AI comes in as a product designer. Explore all options around you to enable you churn out designs faster. If it was going to take 4 weeks for you to build an application before, and with AI you can essentially do research in a couple of hours. You can state out your case study, your research questions. You can get your mood board using Midjourney, and in your first 8 hours of work, which is 1 day, you have all your preliminary research that you would have taken 2 weeks to do as a product designer. You have it done in 1 day. You can dive in and build and begin to design magic, right? And begin to work wonders. But you need to realize that before you can get that good at using ChatGPT and using Midjourney AI and using Galileo and using Sora, you would have spent time immersing yourself in these tools. You would have become a master of these tools.
Thank you so much.
At the end, it's simple.
Abiola, thank you so much. I think you've done more than justice to why we have you on air today. More than justice, and this is what this conversation is central around. Like, you have thousands, if not millions, of the type of Abiola around Nigeria. They're just hiding somewhere, right? They are one of those that they've mastered the art of focusing on the market and not on the noise. Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that, Nigeria is that. That's not an edict for Abiola. Abiola is focused on his hustle. He has his hustle and he has matched his hustle with his goal. And a combination of this is giving Abiola the type of life he wants to live. Okay? So what are we saying to the young minds out there, right? The future you're looking at, you actually have two paths you can choose. You can either choose to be a zombie, or you can actually be an actor like you. I mean, we're talking about AI now. The zombies are the mediocres, right? A mediocre will focus on the problem. Oh, this is about to take away my job. I'm going to lose my job, blah, blah, blah. Right? But the actors would be, how can I be more efficient? Okay, how can I take advantage of this new tool? What is unique about these tools? So, for example, when ChatGPT came out, you have some guys that have done a master class on ChatGPT, and they've sold and made some good millions on that before some people realize that, yes, there's something called ChatGPT. So the same way you have, the likes of Midjourney, Sora, and all of that, the smart ones are focused on, okay, wait a minute, let me get ahead. I mean, you have folks that would have used these tools to get the next level in their career, even before the organization realizes there's a tool that is out there. So, as an individual, what you must do every day is to better your best. That's what Abiola is saying to us. You have to better your best. You have to be ahead of the game. When you go for interviews, some of the questions they would ask you is, how do you develop yourself? Why is that important to the hiring manager? It's important to them because they want to be sure that they are not recruiting a mediocre. They want to be sure they are not recruiting a mediocre. So, folks, AI is not a threat. the mid journey of this world, the ChatGPT of this world are meant to be tools to enhance you.
Yeah.
Now, if you have that mindset, your career is actually about to get what Abiola calls a launch pad, right? Is a springboard?
Yeah,
that takes you to the next level in your career. Abiola would always have you back. Thank you for your time. What we try to do is having conversation around technology, what is new in the tech space. Let's share our thoughts about it and have interesting conversation. Thank you, guys. Ife,
thank you very much.
Thanks for the effort around the research work. Have a wonderful weekend, guys.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.